feeling a pang of anxiety when entering a room full of strangers, especially at a singles event. On Bookish Mind, Season 08, Episode 13, we explore the fine art of small talk by Deborah Fine to equip you with the courage and skills needed to not just survive, but truly thrive in the singles scene. This is arguably one of the most nerve-wracking social settings, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The explicit purpose is connection and admitting that, well, it can feel like a surprising act of courage in our society sometimes.
It absolutely can. And what's really crucial to understand right from the outset is that there isn't some kind of one-size-fits-all playbook for this. You know,
Right.
Your age, the kind of place you prefer, even your personality type, they all factor in. But the most powerful mindset shift we found in our sources, and one we'll be exploring today, is this. Don't think of it as just singles socializing.
Okay.
Instead, try approaching it as networking.
Oh, wow. That reframing is incredibly powerful. It completely changes the stakes, doesn't it?
It does.
Because, let's be honest, many of my single friends, like my sister Elizabeth, who's a researcher over at Harvard, they often joke, dating? What's that? We're far too busy. You know? They find the whole scene kind of exhausting.
Yeah, that's common.
But then you encounter someone like Suzanne, who's been divorced for maybe 8 years now, and actually enjoys playing the field, as she puts it. She's open to finding someone, sure, but she refuses to settle. Her perspective just brings this refreshing lightness to it all.
It really does, and that lightness, that mindset, is exactly what we want to help you cultivate. Because ultimately, whether it's aiming for a romantic connection or maybe just a friendship, everyone has something to offer and something to receive. It's about connection, a connection to humanity. And that leads us right into the first major hurdle. Simply making your entrance.
Ah, the entrance. It's that moment, isn't it? The one many of us dread the most. Walking into that buzzing room. Our source points out something key, though.
Yeah.
You don't actually need to make small talk immediately. Suzanne, who we just mentioned, she shared this great technique she uses.
Okay.
She always takes a deep breath just before stepping in, and she visualizes pulling all her energy into her core. She's not trying to scout the room or, send out feelers. She's just grounding herself.
And what's truly insightful about that simple act is its dual impact. If you pause in the doorway, even just for a moment, you accomplish two things.
Okay.
First, well, you stabilize yourself, right?
Yeah.
You gather your thoughts, get your bearings. And second, maybe unconsciously, you are framing yourself for everyone to see.
Ah, interesting.
People will perceive you as self-confident, and there's a magnetic quality to that. Self-confidence, after all, it's a powerful draw.
So, okay, you've made your composed entrance, you're feeling centered, but now what? Do you immediately dive into a conversation? Do you have to?
No, not at all. Once you're actually in the room, the strategic next step is to, well, pretend you're invisible.
No.
Seriously. Most people are preoccupied, right, with their own conversations or, frankly, their own feelings of uncertainty or awkwardness.
That makes sense.
So this gives you permission to just sort of wander. Maybe head for the food or the bar and just soak up the scene. Take a moment to observe.
Like when?
Just think, who's here? What's the general vibe? Are people relaxed and have a good time? Or is there, like, a lot of tension in the air?
So it's about being a bit of an anthropologist for a few minutes, gathering intel, getting the lay of the land before you even think about engaging.
Exactly. And as you make these observations, your thoughts will naturally start to form words. And those words, those are your best opening lines. It's always easiest to break the ice with a few observations about the situation itself, rather than immediately jumping into personal questions.
Okay.
And here's a clever tactical tip. Maybe consider starting a conversation with someone of the same gender.
Oh, why is that?
Well, it's often less threatening, It helps you get over any lingering stage fright, perhaps. And you never know, they might introduce you to someone truly interesting later on.
Ah, so it's networking again, in its purest form, building those connections.
Precisely.
Okay, so you've surveyed the room, you're feeling ready to make a move, but how do you actually start that first conversation without feeling, super awkward?
Yeah, the opening line jitters.
The book offers some brilliant, really simple lines that are effective for singles in pretty much any situation. You could try something relatable like, I've been here before, but wow, it's never been so crowded.
That's a good one. Or simple, direct questions that lead you somewhere, literally. Which way to the food? Or, excuse me, where's the bar?
Right. Or if you're feeling a bit more self-aware, you can even go with something like, I know exactly 0 people here. How about you?
Those are fantastic low-pressure invitations. You could also offer just a simple observation that invites agreement. Like, this food was pretty tasty. Or maybe,
Oh.
wow, it looks like there are a lot of interesting people here. Do you know any of them?
Even something super simple like, would you please hand me a napkin? That could work.
For a quick transactional opening that can surprisingly lead to more, yeah, even that can work wonders sometimes. And then there are the purely observational ones, maybe perfect for a specific time, like Friday afternoons are a great time for this kind of thing.
Okay.
Or for the truly brave and disarmingly honest approach. I never know what to say at these affairs, but I would like to meet you.
Hmm. That last one takes guts, definitely, but it's memorable. So what's the real strategy behind these seemingly simple opening lines? It feels like there's more to it than just a random question.
Well, the brilliance behind these simple lines is that they're designed to make an innocuous observation, something that doesn't put any pressure on the other person. And this prompts them to share their own impressions, and that's where you begin to find commonality.
Yeah.
The goal, ultimately, is connection, right? Building rapport.
Right, connection.
So to start that, you offer something about yourself, no matter how small, maybe just an observation, and then you ask questions. But the key isn't just getting an answer. It's listening intently for more fodder, more material for small talk.
Fodder. Good word.
People almost always give you something to work with if you're genuinely listening.
Okay, so it's one thing to break the ice, but truly sustaining a conversation, building that connection. The book has some brilliant insights here that go beyond just asking more questions. This is where it gets really interesting, really powerful, I think.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the power of follow-up comments and follow-up disclosures over just another predictable follow-up question.
Okay, explain that.
So, for example, say you ask, how often do you go out? And she responds, oh, almost every night.
Okay, almost every night. Got it.
Instead of immediately pivoting to something like, oh, where do you like to go? You can make a follow-up comment.
Like what?
Like, wow, now that sounds like a lot of work.
Okay. I see. It's not just idle chatter, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It actually sharpens your listening skills because you're actively engaging with what they just said.
Exactly. It shows you heard them rather than just waiting for your turn to ask the next pre-planned question.
It's about building rapport, isn't it?
Yeah.
Much like you would in a professional networking context, actually, finding common ground beyond just the surface level stuff.
And if you choose a follow-up disclosure, that also keeps the connection going while revealing a little bit about yourself.
Okay, same example.
Same example. How often do you go out? Almost every night. Your disclosure could be something like, really? Wow, I used to be able to do that.
Right. It's a statement about your own experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it invites them to respond, creates a bridge. What's fascinating here is how these comments and disclosures, they sort of act as prompters.
Prompter.
Yeah, they almost always encourage the other person to speak more, or maybe even to ask you questions. If you make that comment, now that sounds like a lot of work, they might laugh and say, yeah, I know, it's like a full-time job or something.
Well, what if there's no immediate response? What if they just laugh or nod?
Good question. This is where being prepared comes in. You should always have at least one pre-formulated follow-up question ready in your head, just in case, even if you don't use it.
Okay, like a backup plan.
Exactly. So if she laughs but doesn't elaborate, you could then smoothly pivot to something like, so where do you like to go when you do go out? Or maybe, where do you get all that energy? Or even, how do you make so much time for it?
So it's about being prepared for any turn in the conversation, always having a path forward.
Right. With creative usage of questions, follow-up comments, and those backup follow-up questions, the possibilities for conversation are, well, they're virtually limitless, really, as long as you stay focused on genuinely connecting.
And for continuing the conversation, the book offers some other great connectors that work well beyond that initial icebreaker phase.
More tools for the toolbox.
Exactly. Things like, maybe, you look totally at ease. I wish I could feel the same way you do. Or even a simple, sincere compliment like, that's a great outfit. I love fashion. If you genuinely do, of course.
Yeah, maybe a self-deprecating comment that invites a shared, relatable experience. Like, I almost stayed home to read a book instead of coming here.
Huh, I've felt that.
Or, I'd rather be watching basketball right now, but this is fun too. These are very human, very approachable comments.
And more direct questions about the event itself can show genuine interest too, right? Like, I've never attended one of these events before. What's your experience with this organization?
Yeah, or how did you hear about this event? And if you know a bit about the organization already, this is an interesting organization. Have you tried any of their outdoor events like hiking or bicycling?
Right. These demonstrate you've maybe done a little homework or you're just genuinely curious about the environment you're both sharing.
Okay, so let's fast forward. You've successfully small-talked your way through the singles scene, maybe made a few intriguing connections. Now you've got a few potential date partners in mind.
The next big step.
But actually asking for a date, putting your ego on the line, risking rejection, this is where the rubber meets the road, isn't it? It takes real courage.
It really does.
Our source shares Linda's assertive approach as a woman. She makes sure she's ready with her small talk when she calls a man. She'll reconnect how they met, refresh his memory about maybe a couple of incidents at the event,
Smart.
then tell him how much she enjoyed their conversation and suggest resuming it over coffee or lunch. She specifically avoids dinner for the first date, finds it less threatening for both people.
That's a really smart, low-stakes approach, almost like a networking follow-up again.
Exactly. And Bob, a male friend quoted in the book, offers some fantastic advice for men. He really stresses having specific date ideas in mind before you even pick up the phone.
Don't just wing it.
Right. Don't just call and say, so, what are you doing Saturday night? Which, as he points out, offers the perfect opportunity for a non-committal, oh, I think I'm washing my hair.
The classic brush off.
And those vague invitations like, would you like to get together sometime? They're just a no-go. You need to be specific, thoughtful.
Okay, so what does Bob suggest instead?
Well, Bob's approach is brilliant because he offers something specific and hopefully fun that he believes would appeal to his date, not just himself.
Tailor it to them.
Precisely. For example, there's a wine tasting at Hudson Gardens on Thursday night. I was thinking we could go to that early in the evening and then maybe take a walk along the river, or we could get some dinner somewhere nearby. See, specific options.
Yeah, very clear.
And a crucial caution here. Don't assume interests. Just because you love going to the races doesn't mean she will. And ladies, don't assume every man loves to go shopping.
Good point. It's about tailoring the invitation to the actual person you're trying to connect with.
Exactly.
You know, some truly wise dating wisdom in the source actually comes from a man who waits until the second or third contact to even ask for a date.
Taking it slow.
Yeah. And even then, he suggests something a friend might do, like a bike ride or maybe a gallery tour. This approach, yeah, it takes longer, but it focuses on building real trust and affection before moving to the, quote, heavier stuff, potentially leading to a much more satisfying outcome.
That makes sense. Building a foundation.
And actually, my 18-year-old son offered some surprisingly sound advice on this, too. Avoid movie or theater dates for the first few outings. Interaction is absolutely key to actually getting to know each other. You can't talk in a movie.
Good advice from the younger generation. And if you're the one being asked out, empathy is really important. Remember, someone is putting their courage out there.
Right.
So when asked Friday or Saturday night, or maybe, what are you up for, a movie or some dancing? Please, for the sake of connection, do not respond with whatever.
The dreaded whatever.
Or whatever just indicates disinterest or maybe indecisiveness. A cheerful, specific answer like, oh, Saturday night sounds great, or I'd be happy to go dancing with you either night is so much more engaging and, frankly, respectful.
Definitely. And when you're making that call to ask someone out, the book provides some really helpful calling for the date small talk phrases, just to bridge that initial gap.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, simple stuff like, hey, it was great to meet you at Dye. I hope you had as good a time as I did. Or maybe, hey, I wanted to add something to our conversation the other night. Just simple conversational ways to remind them who you are and why you're calling.
Those are good. You can also effectively reference a previous discussion you had. You mentioned you were looking for, do you have any idea where I might find one?
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
Shows you were listening.
Or to subtly continue a deeper connection you might have felt. I really enjoyed our conversation about where, and I felt like we kind of connected on that issue topic. Would you maybe like to go for coffee this weekend so we can continue the discussion?
Nice. Low pressure again.
And then there are the specific invitations based on shared interests, really demonstrating you listened. You mentioned to me that you like contemporary art. Well, the Art Museum has an exhibition until next month. Would sometime in the evening this week work for you?
Perfect.
Or, I remember you said that you were a fan of the director. I enjoy his work too. Do you want to go see his latest film sometime over the weekend?
Okay, great examples. So now let's say the asking worked. You're actually on the date. What's the general advice for making it truly count?
Right, the first date itself.
The most important thing, according to the source, is to focus on making your date feel attractive and interesting. Don't spend the whole time worrying about what they're thinking of you.
Turn the focus outwards.
Exactly. My friend Janie shared this horror story about a completely self-absorbed date who asked literally zilch about her for 2 hours. Then, after this long, awkward silence, he suddenly piped up with, "So, how am I doing?"
Oh no, definitely not a keeper, as Janie said.
Not a keeper.
Ah, the classic, so how am I doing? Nightmare. It happens. Another friend told me about a guy who was, like, intensely engaged only when he was talking. But the moment she started to speak, his eyes would just wander around the room looking at other people.
Ouch, that's rude.
He was clearly sending a message that she was boring him. She finally just got up and left, telling him, you know what? You don't need me here. You can just talk to yourself and keep company with all the beautiful women walking by.
Good for her.
Yeah. But it highlights this really important question. Are you actively and empathetically listening on a date? It's honestly the best way to find out if there's something genuinely worth pursuing in that person sitting across from you. It's the essence of building a real connection.
It truly is. And the book has some additional, really crucial dating wisdom. First, the non-negotiable cell phone rule.
Ah, yes. The fun.
Paul had a date who simply answered her phone mid-conversation without any excuse. So he promptly got up, paid his share, and left. His advice: turn off your cell phone. Simple, but incredibly important for showing respect.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Then there's the careful what you say section. Patty shared a story about her boyfriend Rab back before they met on a double date. He made some kind of negative comment about tattoos to his table mates,
Oh, dear.
only to find out his blind date, who was apparently lovely in every other way, had one herself. Oops. Lesson learned. Think before you blurt out strong opinions, especially early on.
Definitely. Also, the book advises save your demands for later in the relationship. Jim's story about a date whose very first question was, have you had an AIDS test? And who then reacted really severely to his attempt at humor about it. Well, that certainly made for a unique and uncomfortable first date experience.
Wow, yeah. Timing is everything for certain topics.
Ouch is right. And Terry, a political science professor, shared this brilliant getaway technique she used once.
A getaway technique, do tell.
Her date immediately assumed her political views and just started insulting anyone with opposing ones. Terry's exit line was simply, you know, I disagree with every single opinion you've expressed tonight, and she left. It reminds us you don't have to tolerate disrespect.
Good for Terry. It's also wise, generally, to be patient on a first date. You don't have to learn everything or have it all figured out in one single meeting. Give yourself a chance to bond naturally instead of trying to extract every piece of information and make some snap decision.
Right, it's not an interrogation.
And keep your sense of humor. Don't necessarily tell jokes unless you're truly great at it, but allow yourself to be funny, to be light. As the great Larry King famously said, never stay too serious too long.
Love that. And to help you keep things flowing on that first date, the book provides some excellent first date small talk questions, just to get things rolling.
Yeah, let's hear some.
You could start with something simple like, it's great to see you again. I'm so glad you're able to grab dinner or coffee, etc. with me tonight. Then, to open up the conversation, maybe something like, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, who was your best friend growing up? Or how do you celebrate your favorite holiday? What do you usually eat for lunch? Kind of quirky, but revealing.
Those are simple questions that can surprisingly open up a lot. Or more standard ones like, did you go away to college? Where does your family live? I have 5 brothers and 6 sisters. How about you? Do you have any siblings? These are just basic, non-threatening ways to learn about someone's background and find those initial points of connection.
And of course, exploring common ground is always good. Asking things like, what brought you to this city? Or do you have any pets, any hobbies? What are your favorite activities during this season of the year?
Yeah, these are all fantastic ways to uncover shared interests and just keep the conversation flowing naturally, moving beyond the superficial stuff. So if we connect all this back to the bigger picture, feeling comfortable and confident in conversation is truly the best way to not only survive, but actually to thrive in any social situation, including, while you're single.
Right. It's a life skill, really.
Knowing how to chat isn't just about dating. It helps you make new friends. It strengthens existing relationships. It can even help you excel professionally. And like any skill, practice really helps. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
And maybe less daunting.
Exactly. And once you're truly good at it, it's actually fun. Don't be afraid of looking silly sometimes or saying the wrong thing. Laughing at yourself is not only the best way to develop a sense of humor, but it also makes other people feel less threatened and more comfortable around you.
That's such a good point. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, as you navigate your social world?
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
Every single conversation is an opportunity to connect. And sometimes the connections that lead to something truly special aren't the ones you expected at all. The book challenges us not to dismiss people too quickly as not your type, or maybe avoid events just because of a perceived lack of potential romantic partners. The author, Debra Fine, shares this wonderful story about her friend Karen Thomas. 12 years ago, Karen announced at a book club meeting that she had someone in mind for Debra to meet.
Okay.
And thanks to Karen's thoughtfulness, Debra was introduced to her periodontist, who then became her husband, Steve.
Wow. That's a fantastic example, isn't it? It really highlights that sometimes the true connection isn't with the person you thought you were looking for,
Right.
but with someone entirely unexpected, or just as powerfully, someone they introduce you to. It's about opening yourself up to the entire network of human connection, not just the obvious target.
Embracing that networking mindset we talked about at the
Sure,
start.
good.
So here's our final thought for you. How might broadening your definition of who you're open to connecting with, truly embracing that networking mindset, transform your entire social sphere beyond just dating? Think about that as you venture out into the world.